Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how to not get lost in fights. Because one of the biggest things that I see when people start playing Apex and they start getting in these fights is they're really not sure who to target, they're not really sure who to go for, they kind of get lost in fights, they kind of start to panic, and that's something that you can easily fix. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at a game that I had on Bloodhound and just show you what kind of target acquisition you're going to want, what kind of people you're going to be wanting to go for first, and basically how to not panic in these fights, and basically just how to work it out in your head. But a lot of people love these styles of videos. People really like to see in-game footage where I go over everything like this. So if you like this style of video, you gotta check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have top level coaches, including myself, creating tons of guides to make you the best Apex player that you can possibly be. We have legend guides, we have gun guides, and we have VOD reviews like this, going over a bunch of different stuff, including your favorite streamers, so you can start to play like your favorite pro player. So if you guys want to start getting better at Apex, click the link in the description right now and get your membership and start really climbing. But now, diving right back into this fight, we got to set up this with a little bit right here, because as you can see, there is some shots being shot right here. You can see the bullet tracers, so you know that there are two teams fighting here. One is down here and one is up here. So with this zipline, there is a very clear indication of who you want to go for first. You want to be attacking the team that is the biggest threat to you. So a lot of people, when you're doing this, you'll have a bunch of different options. A lot of people tend to drop off and go and play the low ground right here. They'll either run up this waterfall, they'll try to take the zipline up over here, they'll try to go up this waterfall. And a lot of those are decent options. We even have a Valkyrie, so technically Val could land, go down here, and jetpack her way up here. There are a bunch of different options, but because these guys are so involved with each other, they're shooting, they're not really paying attention, I opt to stay on the zipline because the zipline can offer you an element of surprise that a lot of other opportunities don't. If we were to drop off here and run up the waterfall, we could be a little bit late to the party. These guys may have pushed down here and then they can drop down here and escape into this tunnel. These guys could have pushed back here and played towards zone. There's a lot of stuff that you would miss out on seeing if you were to play the low ground. So in a spot like this where the other teams aren't really focused on you, they're not really looking at you, try to get as much information as you possibly can. Right now, I'm in no danger, so I want to watch and I want to make sure that I know where these teams are going in order to get as much information as I can as I pull up to the fight. So that as soon as I get in there, I'm not surprised by anything. Because as I'm on the zipline, I can see that everybody's still staying in their spots, nobody's really going, and then I'm able to pop my ultimate in a safe spot, and as soon as I get to the end of the zipline, I'm able to see this person here get basically caught out. They hopped off their high ground, they hopped off their building because they didn't know that I was here, and they're really pushing into a bad area, because right now they have nowhere to go. So as we land, basically I'm able to just one-clip this guy for free because he panicked, he got caught out and he had no idea what to do. With that, I'm able to make this a very easy 2v1 on their other teammates, so as Bloodhound, I can just quickly scan, figure out where this other teammate is, hop up on them, and kill them as quickly as I need to. And then I know that one of them has to have self-res, so I figured it's this Bloodhound, so I thirst him, grab the self-res, because, you know, you always need self-res, always grab self-res when you can. But because we were able to end that fight so quickly, we were able to get in there, get some really nice one-clips off. I'm still very proud of that spray on the Bloodhound that I had. You can then focus your attention back on the other team that is approaching. We know that that team was coming from the ramp, so instead of trying to over-loot, trying to grab stuff, like you can see down here that I don't have a whole lot of ammo. I only have 98 reserve in an R301. That's not a whole lot, especially if a fight gets drawn out. So with this, I don't really want to be in an extended fight. I don't really want to be drawing things out. So I need to focus my attention back on this other team here. And this is something that a lot of people struggle with. They try to grab as much stuff that they need for the next fight. And if they do that, then they're not really paying attention to what's going on around them. They're trying to loot, they're trying to get stuff kind of set up in their inventory, they're trying to drop stuff that they don't need, they're going over this checklist in their head like they're grocery shopping. In a fight like this, you can't really take that extended amount of time to loot. You have to understand that this team was on the ramp, they're coming, and a lot of people forget about that in fights. They deal with one team and they just kind of lollygag and, you know, forget about the other team. But because I was able to reposition so quickly, these guys are once again caught out in a bad spot. There's not a whole lot of cover here. And because they're caught in a bad spot, I'm able to just very easily take advantage of that. And when I take advantage of it, this fuse gets hurt really badly. And then this is something that a lot of people mess up on. A lot of people would just try to chase that fuse. They'd hop off, they drop down with the fuse onto his level, and they'd try to take a straight up fight with him. Even though their teammate is not focused on me, you can see that they're shooting my teammate, their bullet trails aren't going towards me. I cannot drop down and chase that fuse, because if they were to switch their attention on me and the fuse gets a lucky shotgun pump or something out and this person is then shooting me as well, I could die and they could reset the fight and easily win it. So what you need to be doing in this kind of situation is turning your attention onto the enemy teammate. Once again, they're still out in the open. They have no cover near them. So what you're trying to do here is either force them back towards the cover. So you're trying to hit them hard enough that they have to go back down the ramp, or try to kill them. That's the basic gist of that. You want to kill them or force them back into cover so that you can split them from the fuse, because the fuse had to run underneath me. So you want to split them up, and then you can take the 2v1 on the person that got, split up from the team. So here what I do is I try to kill this person, but I don't have any R301 ammo, so here I'm just trying to shoot them so that they have to back off. The fuse does get the door closed on me, but he doesn't play it. And then this is another huge thing that people would miss. There is people now on the window over there, so there's another team that's come here. So now I have to be worrying about a second team once again, so I need to kill this fuse as quickly as I can. Luckily, he is low and he's not really doing a whole lot to defend himself, so I am able to kill him right here, but I'm still very low on ammunition. So I need to be worrying about the closest person to me. The fuse's teammate was healing. They're not doing anything really important right now. They're out of the fight, they're healing. I can take a second to just relax. But instead of relaxing, I have to swap my attention onto the enemy team. So I scan to make sure that they're not really throwing into me, and then I try to get some damage out to try to make them heal. Unfortunately, I did get hit pretty hard. So when I back up here, a lot of people would just try to heal where they got shot. They would sit behind that wall. They wouldn't really be trying to move. But in this situation, there was an enemy on the ramp. There was a fuse's teammate. So if I were to just basically sit in the same spot, they could come back up the ramp, have an angle on me, and kill me right there. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make my way around the building here while healing, because they are still on the other side of the building. I want to try and cut off line of sight from the fuse's teammate, so it's just something to keep an eye out. Always try to be breaking line of sight from people when you can. I don't really have to worry about that fuse's teammate, but you see here, I was able to just hop up on this ramp and play that instead of being out in the open. Then I get the crack on the horizon, and once you get a crack on somebody like this in a fight as fast-paced as this one, you need to be pushing advantages, because I don't have the ammo to stall this out. Even though the fuse's teammate could peek here, I need to kill this horizon as quickly as I possibly can and take the resources that they have, be it heals, ammo, even a gun swap if I have to. So here I need to press this horizon, because once I kill her, then I can trade her armor out, so I'm not really worried about getting my armor cracked. Then her death shield or knockdown shield kind of gets glitched into the wall, so she was a little bit harder to kill, which was annoying, but I was able to kill her. And thankfully, she did have the ammunition that I needed, so I am able to go back once again and help my teammate out. So here, this Pathfinder is playing the ledge, so I could play a head glitch here, but these little ledges right here are actually fantastic spots to play when you're up against the person in the building. They give you a huge advantage because they're a really tough head glitch, and I'm aware of that. So instead of trying to play a head glitch, I take a straight up fight with the Pathfinder, because I'm very confident in my gunfighting abilities. I am a very confident player when it comes to shooting in a straight up fight. So I decide to hop onto even ground to take these even fights, because I'm more confident that I'm going to land more shots than he is. And thankfully I do. I'm able to just really easily one clip him. And then instead of going immediately for the thirst and hopping off height, which a lot of people would, you need to take the time to really assess your situation. That fuse's teammate was still there, and we had no idea where they went. We didn't know if they ran away. We don't know if they got killed by somebody else. We don't know what's really going on with that. So instead of hopping off height immediately, what I do is I turn around, I look, I scan, I make sure that nobody's up here so I can safely drop down, go for the Pathfinder, and here I go for the finisher because I want my shields. He had purple, I have red. I can easily do a finisher here and get my shields back. So when you really look at fights like this and you break them all down, you can see that they're not as hard as people make them out to be. When you're really in the middle of teams, it's not as scary as it could be when you really start to pull back a little bit and you start to think of, who do I need to kill? Because if you break these fights down into very simple 1v1s, they're a lot easier to manage, and people tend to lose them a lot less because of this. And that's something that's helped me out a ton in my fights. People seem to think that you have to think of it as a 2v2 or a 3v3, anything like that. It's not always that complex. You can break these fights down into smaller categories like a 1v1 or a 1v2. And then once you do that, you'll start winning a lot more fights because you're going to be panicking a lot less. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. Thank you guys all for watching. If you have any questions, please drop a comment down below. If you guys want to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, like and subscribe. It really helps with the channel. Or if you guys want to see some of my gameplay live, come over, check out one of my streams over on Twitch TV/8secondgaming. Thank you guys all for watching. Once again, I'm your boy 8secondgaming, and I will see you in the next one.